Hey everyone, this is Matt Stark with Forward Lawyer Marketing. What I wanted to do today was simply go over what we normally cover during an initial conversation with a law firm. We really try to understand, most importantly, what your goals are as a practice and how we can help bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And our method of doing that is through SEO and paid search. So we really try to get an understanding of that first and then educate you on the competitive landscape, both from an SEO perspective and a paid search perspective in your marketplace. So for the sake of this conversation, we're looking at a San Diego family and divorce law firm. We would take a look at the site and kind of get an understanding of, how is that site built from a technical standpoint. And then our 4 pillars of an SEO program really begin with technical SEO, your backlink profile. The more backlinks you have pointing towards your website that are authoritative, really are votes for your website that help you show up higher in the search results over time. We also look at your Google business profile because that's a really important piece to help get exposure in the local map section on Google as well. And then the content, which is really important. You have to be putting out regular, consistent, quality content in order for your site to rank. So what we'll normally do in our initial conversation, it's very consultative. We don't want to just sell you products and services. We want to understand your goals and then also understand where you're at from a competitive standpoint in order to achieve those. So the first thing we'll look at is just kind of the eye test with regards to the website. We'll look at the content to see how much content is on there. Are you posting content regularly through a blog? Is that content relevant? Are these keywords that people are searching for so that if that blog does rank, is it going to drive traffic that's going to ultimately result in people contacting your practice? The second thing we'll look at is we use our SEO software to really get an understanding of where your site's at. So I won't go too much into this, but one of the things we'll look at is what your domain rating is. Hrefs, is which we use, will give a domain rating as far as how much equity, how much trust your domain has with search engines such as Google. So the higher that domain rating, the higher likelihood you have to rank. So we'll go over that and how it compares to the local competition, because there's firms out there that have been optimizing their sites for years. And if you're a new site that just launched 6 months ago, you have a lot of work to kind of get the trust that Google wants to see. So one of the really important components we'll look at is your backlink profile. So backlinks, again, are really votes of confidence for your website. So if you have a listing, let's say on lawyers.com, that links back to your site, lawyers.com is a very authoritative site. That's an authoritative vote for your website, and ultimately that's a major component in Google's algorithm. So we'll take a look at your backlink profile and see, where other sites are linking to you. And one of our biggest pillars in our SEO campaigns is once we start optimizing, pushing out new content, we need to build authoritative links back to your sites to kind of increase that domain rating. So we'll go over that and give you an objective review of where you are currently looking at, where you're ranking as far as your keywords go. If you're a divorce lawyer in San Diego or a criminal defense lawyer in Houston or a personal injury lawyer in New York, those are really competitive keyword phrases that you want to show up. So in this firm's case, the rankings are definitely a huge area of opportunity. And just looking at the eye test, when you do a search for, San Diego divorce lawyer, you'll notice that this particular firm, this is the local pack, which is Google Business Profile, will help you show up if that's optimized correctly and over the course of time. But this particular firm, is showing up way towards the bottom of the search results. So my guess is, in this case, they're not going to be getting a ton of traffic to that site. Because they're kind of buried in the search results. So that's what we're going to look for on really an SEO side, is see how your content stacks up, what your backlink profile is, because those are components that are going to really determine where you're ranking. On the technical side, we'll take a look at your site and see how your core web vitals are. Now, earlier in 2021, Google rolled out an update that will essentially, give better rankings or not give rankings to those that don't have sites that load fast, have a good user experience. So this is really important. This firm is okay. It's at a B. We usually like to see these at a 90% or above, and there are things that we can do to optimize the core web vitals of the site. So that's another thing that we'll look at, and all of this will translate in a very easy to understand way so that we can set proper expectations if you give us the opportunity to work on your firm's SEO. And ultimately, our goal is to rank for as many competitive keywords as possible, not only in this Google business profile, the local pack, but also the organic rankings that are here at the top. And our strategy is putting out strong content, building links to that content so that we can do that. And then also, whether or not you are interested in paid search to drive traffic to your site immediately, if you are interested in discussing that, we'll take a comprehensive look at how your site stacks up in that respect. So what we would do is we have a tool where we can take a look at all of the keywords that are out there. So divorce lawyer near me, child custody attorney near me, San Diego divorce attorney, and what that low bid and high bid, so we can get a very good understanding of what the average cost per click is going to be if you decided to put your ads out on there. So in this case, we're looking at a potential cost per click somewhere in the $15 to $23 range, and these are where those ads show up. So really, in a nutshell, what we want to do is understand what your goals are, and we'll give you an objective review of how you stack up from an SEO perspective and what it's going to take in order to start showing up organically on a consistent basis, and how long we feel that's going to take in order to do that. And again, organic would be in these areas. And then also, if you want to generate immediate, we'll call it inbound leads to your firm, what we feel like will be necessary in order to do that. So that's what our initial conversation usually looks like. And if it makes sense at that point, we would schedule another call to go over more specific details on what we can do, whereas this first 15-minute conversation is essentially just going over how you stack up in the local marketplace.